Welcome to We've All Done It, the podcast for leaders who know they've screwed up and are ready to fix it fast. I'm Kimberly Benoit, author, speaker, leadership coach, and Southern girl living outside of Washington, D.C. Here's what I believe. Every leader faces challenges and makes mistakes, but you don't need years of therapy-style coaching to fix them. You need someone to help you figure out what's actually going wrong, make smart adjustments, and get back on track quickly. That's exactly what I do through one-on-one coaching, targeted skill development, and group programs. Every episode of this podcast delivers real talk about common leadership pitfalls, practical strategies for recovery, and no BS guidance to improve how you lead yourself and others every single day. Whether you're here to listen and learn, or ready to work together and make real changes, you are in the right place. Now let's get to today's episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the latest episode of We've All Done It. I don't know about you, but I cannot believe we are already at the end of June. So we are halfway through this amazing year of 2026. And if you've been around for a while, if you've followed me for the last several years, you know what's coming. So I do not create new episodes in July. And before you run off thinking that I'm living the grandest of lives and having like the best vacay, just chilling on a beach, that's quite the opposite of what actually happens in July. Simply because if you've ever done a podcast, you know that it's a very intense process. And I like to take a moment just to take a breather for myself. And we're going to get to that a little bit more in a second, and what I actually mean by taking a breather. I also know a lot of you are going on vacation and maybe you're catching up on podcasts. So this is a great opportunity to kind of, or maybe, which I would heavily encourage, is you're checking out a little bit yourself, which I highly advocate because we've made it halfway through the year. We still have the rest of the half to go. So we need to take care of ourselves and really hunker down and do all the good things. So before you think, oh God, no, nothing. I'm going to be doing my re-releases of the hottest episodes that we have had. Don't worry, you'll still have me dropping into your favorite podcast host or however it shows up on your devices. But it won't be new episodes. So I want to get into a little bit about what do I do when I say I take some time away in July. So being a solopreneur or small business owner, I feel like the world turns way faster for when you're this small. And I like to take some time away from creating the show to do a deep dive on my own strategy and to ask really big questions about how am I doing thus far on my goals? So where am I today? Am I where I want to be? Has something shifted in the world, in the business space, in me that requires me to maybe rethink how I want to approach the second half of the year? And in order to do that really well, it really requires taking some time, some quiet space, because no matter where it comes out, there's more work that comes from it, right? And it gives me the space and it gives me the availability to do the deep thinking that needs to be done when you're strategically evaluating where you are and maybe pivot your plan. And, candidly, I do take a couple breaks because, again, if you've been around a while, my birthday is in July. And this one's a big one. There's a big 0 at the end. So there will be a day or two where I'm going to check out a little bit and do definitely some life appreciation, which we'll talk about. So again, strategy is important, which is why it's incredibly timely when talking about strategy. And I didn't exactly plan it for this reason because I'm going off and doing my own strategic evaluation. But I want to remind you and tell you that I have my last leadership summit coming up. Your strategic advantage, how to create a vision that actually gets results. It is, again, this will be the third this year, and you guys have been tremendous in showing up and supporting and hopefully getting a lot of value out of the two that we already had. So January was all around navigating uncertainty because we had so much going on. May, we had one where we really focused on our people and how do we, again, show up well related to our talent. And then here in August, we're going to be talking about strategy. And if you're asking why August, because I've gotten that question from a few people, and it's because a lot of people go into strategic planning for their next year in September after Labor Day, when everybody comes back from vacation and kids are back in school. Strategic planning starts. And I really wanted to make sure I was providing you with great insight and experience and resources to maybe help guide you through your upcoming strategic planning cycle. And so that is why it is in August. We're going to do it again where we're going to do a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, which I know some people think is counterintuitive because when you think about work, it's a Monday through Friday, but I also know that most of you are swamped Monday through Friday. So that is why I give Sunday, we kick off on Sunday. So hopefully it gives you an ability to kind of sneak in and check out some amazing content before you get swallowed up into your week. But always remember you can buy the pass, which gives you access to replays. But I know people like to attend in person. I hear you. Or should I say virtually live, because it is a virtual event. So just a recap. So what are these summits about? So it's 3 days full of sessions, and I'm bringing back panels. So we'll talk about that. And yes, the daily huddles, because those who came to the daily huddle said this was great. Several of you said it was the best session of all of them. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. But I want to tell you about the topics because we're covering a lot of really relevant things, really relevant issues that you guys are dealing with. So you're going to see stuff related to rethinking resistance, which I am really excited about. That's my session. I've taught this. I've dealt with this and taught this topic for over a decade. And I love this content that I'm giving out. So I really hope you'll come and join me about that. But it's really about really thinking about resistance differently. Instead of seeing it as just a straight up hurdle to accomplishing a goal, it's figuring out how to use it to actually drive you forward. Believe me, it's possible. We're also going to get into marketing strategy and why you have to have a good marketing strategy that supports your overall business strategy. We're going to get into market research. What does that even mean? And can you ever be too small to not understand your competitive landscape and the market around you? So excited about these sessions. We're going to be talking about how do you align strategies to your values, because sometimes it gets a little questionable, right? In order to make money, sometimes you feel like you have to compromise yourself. Well, maybe there's a way you don't. We're going to get into compliance and risk and what role that really needs to play when you're thinking about your business and how to structure it. And even in that space, I'm excited because we're going to be talking about AI. Whew, it is everywhere. I feel like I hear a lot of FOMO about AI and everybody's doing it. Everybody's in it. Sometimes when I'm always intrigued when I ask people, what does AI mean to you? Just because I'm curious as to what their definition is. And I always end up coming back with people have very different ideas about AI. But we're going to have an entire session, 2 amazing attorneys who are going to talk about what businesses need to think about and to address legal risk when implementing AI tools. Because unfortunately, some companies are getting themselves into a little bit of trouble. So how do we help you be more proactive in that space? But speaking about AI, we're also going to have an amazing panel that is going to talk about if AI is something that is on your radar, whether you're fearful of it or an advanced, you're in it to win it right now and think you want to embrace it in every way possible. We're going to have an amazing panel with Charmaine Nakuri and Chuck Boyce, and we are going to be talking about what are the questions you need to ask as a business before integrating AI tools so that you're creating a strategy where you're leveraging AI in a very smart way versus just picking a tool up because that's what everyone else is doing or because somebody came by and showed you this really slick demo and you feel like it would just make, they say it's going to make your life easier. So how do we help you make sure you ask the right questions up front so that you're pulling AI in a really meaningful way. We also are going to have um, lessons from the trenches. So super excited about this. I'm excited about all of it. You know how I get about this stuff. I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd because I love all of it. So lessons from the trenches. So we're going to be bringing in Timon Wong and Lacey Momich to talk about two very incredible, innovative leaders. And they have been responsible for taking big chances, creating strategy around solutions that have not existed in an organization. So they're going to talk about the big swings, the big misses, things they've learned, and things that they would encourage you to think about and to gain from their mistakes. So how can we leverage their insights and experience to get us around maybe making the same kinds of mistakes? We're also going to have a panel around influencing without authority. So think about boards, leaders above you, colleagues around you. When you're creating a broader strategy, you often have to influence a lot of stakeholders that you have no authority over. How do you do that well? Well, we're bringing Nancy Fournier back, and we're bringing back Jimmy Burrows to talk about their experiences. Nancy has a tremendous experience in the nonprofit space. Jimmy has a tremendous amount of experience in the for-profit space. So we're going to cover the range there of like, how do you do this well? How do you influence when you don't feel you have authority? That is a tough role for every person. I don't know a single leader who at times hasn't struggled because personalities change, topics change. So come and join that one if this is something that is of need for you. And then the last panel, because yes, we're having 4 panels in 3 days, is one that I genuinely feel no matter how high you go in leadership, this is something you can always learn about, which is how do you make decisions under pressure? Particularly when you don't have all the information that you want in order to feel really great about the decision, because sometimes you just have to decide and move forward. Again, we're bringing back some fan favorites. So Kevin Green is going to be coming back, and John Rennie, both with incredibly impressive military backgrounds as well as corporate experience. So they left the military and came out and have started their own businesses and have had pretty impressive private careers as well as public ones. And they're going to come and share that with you. Like, how do you move forward? How do you not get stuck in analysis paralysis? Or how do you move forward when you don't really know what the right choice is? So there's ways to do it. They're going to talk us through their mindset, their approaches, so that you can go into your strategy planning session as solid as possible. It's August 9th through 11th. Registration is open, and it's the same thing. You can register for free, and you can watch any of these sessions in virtually, because again, it's fully virtual, but you can watch them in real time for free. And you have 24 hours before you get locked out. After that, or if you can't make it and you really want to see several of these sessions, because again, it's 3 days full of content. I'm not anticipating you're all going to be able to see all of it. But we have made the pricing very reasonable. So we have an all access pass, which gives you access to all of the replays, except the huddles, which I'll tell you why in a second, because it's a ton of breakout rooms. So huddles are different because they're in the huddle space. I am there. Speakers join us with you live and we get into breakout rooms. And we're not here as your expert. We're here as your peer. And we're going to talk about very similar topics. So they're going to mirror very much the panel discussions. And we're going to get into individual challenges and stories in breakout settings. So that doesn't bode well. It doesn't translate well into recording. So those won't be there, but everything else will. And and you'll have some access to some additional bonuses from some speakers. So I know I'm going to be offering a pretty cool bonus about a new offer that I have in order to help you. Again, how do we get you the momentum and the shift you need to end this year strong? So I'm going to be offering a tremendous discount on something called a focus session. So it's a 90-minute session with me. If you want to know about it, you're going to have to go check it out. Yes, it's a teaser. Go check it out. But it's 90 minutes with me to help you solve one big problem that you have. And after 90 minutes, you walk away with action steps. So you're not solving it by yourself. You're solving it with me, right? So I'm not going to do everything for you, but I am with you to fully understand it, talk it through, and make sure you have very clear steps to take coming. So consider me your 90-minute consultant, your 90-minute problem solver. So there's going to be a tremendous discount related to that session, right? Because that session is currently valued at $500. You're going to get it for a huge discount if you get the all access pass early bird at $97. If you want to know the discount, again, go check it out. Yes, it's a teaser. I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. I hope you will come join us. I hope to see you there. Let's end this year incredibly strong. Again, and if you have ideas or things you want to talk about, email me. You know how to find me. podcast@KimberlyJBenoit.com. I am here. I read everything you send me, and I appreciate it every time. All right, so that's really rounding this out. Now, before I go, I do want to take a quick moment to add one personal note, just because I think it's important and it's something that's been really heavy on my mind, is you also know, if you've been around a while, that my birthday, as I mentioned earlier, is in July. And this is a big one for me. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm turning the big 50, right? So there's a lot of hoopla about it. And, for me, I think you should celebrate people all the time, not just when there's some big occasion. Like, I've always thought that Valentine's Day is kind of a cop out, right? You should show people you love them all the time, not just on one day of the year, that kind of mentality. But this year has been a little bit different. And I say that because there have been a couple of unexpected deaths in my personal life and in my personal space that were somewhat unexpected. And as a result, it has caused me to be way more reflective about not about getting older. Because I don't fear aging, I think, in the way some people do, but it has definitely forced me to really slow down and think about the life that I have and what do I want to do with it? How am I showing up every day? And is that getting me closer to who I want to be and where I want to be? And the reality that I had to face is there are many moments like you where it is so easy to focus on the stuff that isn't happening or that isn't going well or that I'm not getting done or the goals I haven't achieved, that I fail to even slow down enough to appreciate everything that I have done, how far I have come, what I have accomplished that far exceeds anything I dreamed possible. And so I just want to issue a little challenge to you as, I guess, a little birthday wish from me, is in the moments that it feels hard and in the moments that it feels dark and in the moments where you feel maybe you aren't enough, you're not doing enough, you're not where you want to be, is remember that we are absolutely privileged to simply still be here today. And that means that we have the ability today to make choices that can get us closer to where we want to be and allow us to be the person that we aspire to be. So whether that is, choosing to say, I'm going to go exercise for 15 minutes because I want to be a healthier version of myself. So instead of stewing over and spiraling or doom scrolling on social media, get up and go on that 15-minute walk. Or, if you feel like the world is not kind, then how do you inject kindness into it? Because we are part of that world. So how can we lead by example? That doesn't mean being gullible or being taken advantage of, but how can we show up in the way we want the world to be? Because I firmly believe that if we want things to be different, we have to make choices for that to happen. And it always starts with us. It kind of goes back to my bigger premise. When you're in a situation that sucks, you can't change people around you, but you can absolutely control yourself and you can control what you do. So my birthday wish to you is never forget the privilege of that you are here today and you can do something differently today. All right. So that is all I have for you. That's my big, bold message for my birthday. And that's some of what I'm trying to continue to incorporate into my own self and my own being and my own mindset because it's hard. If it were easy, we'd already be doing it. I know that. But with that, I just want to say, have a wonderful July. I am around. I am still working. I am just not pushing out new podcasts. So if you need me, email me, reach out. I am here. And, I'm going to go have a great strategy deep dive on my own, and I'm going to have a great birthday. And I cannot wait to see you back in August at the summit. All right, everyone, take care. And until next time. I've got 2 things before I let you go. 1, if you've ever gotten any value from the show, please leave a 5-star review. It really helps and absolutely makes my day. The second thing is if you have any thoughts you'd like to share with me, please shoot me an email at podcast@KimberlyJBenoit.com. I'd love to hear from you. All right, see you in the next episode.